do queries, you can ask me whatever you want at the end of the presentation. I'll try to be quick because I think it's more important to have questions than only information. But yeah, feel free to send the questions in the chat or in real with a video. Okay. And these are some of my projects, past, present, and not future, but yeah, past and present. And yeah, my story about blogging. Okay. See. Yeah, I started with my first business in 2012. It was an English school in Madrid, and as I said, I started creating my own marketing. When you are a small business, you don't have that much money, and it's better if you do it by yourself. Then I told my teachers to create content for our website, for the blog. And then it was great because they produced very valuable content. A teacher know what like it's very precise content. You are an English teacher, you know what your students need, and then you can publish great content. It was actually local content, local SEO. I mean, because only with I don't know, let's say 20 something posts we got on the first page of Google. This is not easy. I think we were all the time between the 7th and the 9th position, what is great for the keywords English school in Madrid, but in Spanish. Okay, so yeah. Then I came to Ireland and I developed a new project. It was a company about English programs in Ireland. And after 1 year, I realized I was invisible for Google's eyes. So I decided to create one article, just one article that was there, as you can see, it's in Spanish, but it was the 10 best language schools, English schools in Dublin. Some people thought that I was crazy because I was sharing all the information I got in 1 year to my readers, but it was great. It was great because they trusted me after I published. Because before that, I was just another agency. They and even for Google, I was invisible, as I said. But then I published the article. People started knowing me, and I published about the language school. So I said, this school is big, this is small, this is good, this is not that good. You have to be very careful about what you say. But it was a very tough article and difficult one. I made a research, and it was like 1 week work, so it wasn't free. I want to say that because, of course, maybe you're going to ask me, is better blogging than advertising? And well, it's a big discussion, but yeah, blogging is not free. You have to do it, or you have to hire someone. But I'll go on that discussion. But I think it's a long-term strategy for sure. And advertising is different. It doesn't mean you cannot do both things, but I love blogging because I'll tell you why. So after 6 months, this article was getting was giving me 90% of the traffic to my website. It was amazing. I was really amazed. After a few weeks and months, I published the article. I created more. I modified the article, like publishing different links, pop-up, call to actions as well. Because, as I said, people said you are crazy. You are publishing very, very not sensitive, but important information for the students. And yeah, maybe at the beginning I wasn't that successful with that article, but once I realized how to change it, I got a lot of leads, and then my business started. It was like a real start in this point. I got a lot of students because they asked me, "Oh, I know that you are writing about the language school. Why don't you enroll me in school?" And then it was the real start of the blogging for me. And then I have another project. I like to write in livinginIreland.com. It's livinginireland.com. Okay, will be that name in English. Then it's a different niche. It's not a company. It's just a blog. It's a real blog. I have other projects, and even now I'm working on translating successful projects in other languages, like Italian or French, even English. But English is a more competitive market but in other language. I have now a website in Italian, just translating the content I produce, and it's getting very, very well. Yeah, and at this point, I need your cooperation. So I want to ask you, what is a blog for you? We have only 5 attendants, but I want to ask you, for example, Julian, if you can hear me. What is a blog for you?
Hi, yes. Yeah, so I've actually got into content marketing recently as of this year, and since the whole lockdown, I've been doing some training. So yeah, it's just offering some value, really, value, and also that helps to, from what I understand, helps to give your company a brand.
Great. Yeah, actually, that's a good answer. I was expecting something more light, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that's what I want to say. Actually, I'll press the button and then we will see here. Yeah, a blog is, some customers of mine, and even some people think that a blog is like a, when I tell them you have to create a blog for your website, for your company, and they tell me, really, but I don't want to talk about, I know, my travels or my personal life. Well, that's not a blog anymore, or not the only thing. Okay, a blog is a very important action site. It's and actually it's a tool for the company. You can talk to your readers. That's what I say, no, because it's not the same when you have like a landing page or a corporate section that you are talking about, not talking actually. Sometimes it's like an online brochure, and you sell your products, you say how good you are, and you talk about yourself sometimes when you have the landing page or the product, who we are, our product, contact me, and but in a blog it's totally different. The more important thing is the text. When in a landing page, it's not only the text, no, it's like you have to put arrange everything in a good position, the call to actions. In a blog, in a post, you are yourself. You are very honest. You should be, and you are talking to your customers, to your potential customers and your readers. You have to be honest. This is what I always say, and because if not, it's not worth it. You have to tell them. You have to talk not only about your product, you have to talk about your niche and your industry, and then you'll be success. Because for example, this article that I say that I published 10 best language schools in Dublin. I visited most of them, and then I had a very good view of the schools. And yeah, it doesn't have to be bad or good. This is a school, it's big. They have like 10 classrooms. The other one is only 4 classrooms. They provide 3 activities in the evening. These ones, they don't. You have to be very honest and very deep. You should give your opinion in the articles. That's what I think. If you really to connect with your audience, your readers, your potential customers, okay? And for me, it's ideal for small businesses. I'm not saying that it's not a good tool for big companies, but I think small and medium-sized businesses, it's great because maybe you don't have that much money to invest, or you are that big that you don't want to talk to your customers. Yeah, it can sound rude, but I think it's true. You're a big company, you don't care about your customers. It's not that you don't care, don't get me wrong, but it's a different approach, okay? And I'll tell you later on why I say it's a tool for a company, okay? Because I repeat it in the next section. And yeah, sorry, I don't want to forget. What we do in a blog is creating content about our business, okay? If I have, in my case, it was a language school, so we wrote about how to learn English, the differences between general English and an exam preparation course, the differences between a native teacher and a non-native one. And yeah, so this you have to write about yourself, and sometimes it's not easy. I know it's not easy to write about. Even you are going to know your business better than you are going to discover new areas. Sometimes people don't really understand their own businesses. Yeah, I'm not joking. Sometimes some customers or some people, like, they don't know how to explain the product to the customers. With a blog, you can do it. Yeah, so why to have a blog? Okay, this is, for me, one of the more important reasons. It helps to your SEO. You can get to the, you know, I guess you know what is SEO is, a search engine optimization. You get a better position in Google. Google wants you to update their content. They don't want, like, if you have a very static website, you are deaf to Google's eyes. You are invisible. No, Google, like, because they have a search, so they index pages. They want you to produce content. Google loves content. So that's the reason why it helps SEO, okay? But you have to do it in a proper way. It helps you to understand your business, your own business. That's what I said. For example, I had to make a research of the English schools in Dublin. It took me maybe 1 week to write the article, but it took me longer to do the research, even to take pictures. I put pictures on the article of the web of the language schools. So if you are, let's say, a Spanish guy that wants to learn English in Ireland, and you come to my post, I think it's, no, don't you think it's better if they see a lot of details and then they see, oh, this guy, and of course you have to be very clear that you are a company because you want to get income and you want to get customers, no? But it doesn't matter, it's not incompatible. Like, you can be nice and selling as well, okay? So, but it helps you to understand your business, and even you can discover new products. And I'm going to tell you a very clear example. I was selling English courses to Spanish people, only to the Spanish market. But then writing articles, you have to make a research, sometimes for not saying stupid things. Sometimes it's not that easy, and you have to go very deep. And I discovered the work and study program. This program is a program for not European students. They can come to Ireland for 6 months, and only some of them are not allowed, but most of them are allowed. For example, in my case, from Latin America, and they can come to Ireland just buying a course of 6 months. They buy the course and they get a visa for working part-time. So it's amazing, right? So I discovered, and at the moment, I can tell you, I love give you examples and data. In my case now is, let's say, 50% of my business, because I didn't know about it. I didn't know about the Latin American market. I thought it was difficult. I thought they needed a visa, but no, with the work and study program, I discovered that they don't need a visa. So you discover sometimes new products, and you can analyze your competitors as well. You can use it as online documentation. Okay, what I mean is, like, for example, in my case, I'm going to talk about my case. Okay, so they have to, they need an English course, but at the same time they need accommodation. So if I write about accommodation, then I just have to send to them, like, because sometimes you talk about the same all the time to the customers, and if you don't prepare your selling point or your speech very good, you can forget interesting things. So you can send them, look, here are the differences between the accommodation. Like, this is a host family, but you have to take the bus every day, it's 40 minutes. But if you go to students resident, it's just 20 minutes walking. And then I love when the customer comes to me and they are well trained by me. They just read my article and they come to me and say, hey, David, I read your article on your website, and I'm happy with the 4 weeks course in this school, and I want this accommodation because for me it's better. And oh, really? So it's I don't have to do anything to sell it. It's already sold. So I love it when the potential customers read your blog, and it helps your social networks as well, because sometimes you don't know what to do with your social profiles. You have to. And sometimes I saw customers publishing articles from the competitors and say, really, why don't you produce your own content? Well, it's expensive and difficult. Well, of course, it's a bit difficult, but it's better to promote yourself than promoting the others, no? I saw a lot of community managers promoting content from the competitors, and that's annoying, I think. Okay, and it helps you to create branding. Then you are not invisible to the social networks neither. Then you have valuable content. Okay, it attracts quality customers. Why I say that? Because you remember that I said when you write a blog, you write about your business. So I'm not writing about shoes or writing about the weather in Ireland. I'm writing about how to come to Ireland, the cities. Is it better Dublin, Cork, Galway? So you produce quality very related to your products, but you are not selling. Let's say you've been transparent. You are trying to be transparent and honest. So the customer is equality. They are looking for what you are selling. It's great. Okay, you know what I mean. It can sound very normal, but sometimes some customers or some people who try to do blogging, they don't focus on what they have to write. Okay, you have to write about your products, and sometimes you have to be very specific. Others you can write about not something that important. Okay, then you get quality customers. If they are looking for your products. You provide credibility and authority. That's what I'm saying. Like you, for example, if you are, I don't know, a musician or a teacher, a musician teacher, and you want to get customers. Some people think that if you write about how to play the piano, they're not going to hire you. But it's the opposite, because, well, maybe some of them will learn from you are providing free information. Yeah, you're right. If you are a piano teacher, they will learn piano with your article. I don't think they will learn from your article, but yeah, okay. They don't buy, some of them, they don't buy from your website. But some of them will say, so, oh, this guy know well what he's talking about. He sounds very good and very credible. So you will get credibility, okay? And yeah, it's like, okay, great. I love the article, but why don't you do it for me? You know, this is what the goal. And it's cheaper than advertising. Yeah, we have to handle it with care. No, like it's cheaper. It's different. It's not cheaper sometimes because it's your time. So it depends how expensive you consider your time. To write an article is going to take you like minimum 3 hours per week if you want to do it properly. But it's long-term strategy. In advertising, I'm not saying, okay, again, it's a complement. Sometimes you can use both strategies, but advertising, you know how it works. If you don't pay, you don't get anything. So you want to still getting leads, you have to pay. If the campaign is working well, you'll keep investing money in advertising. But what about if it's not, or if it can be very expensive sometimes? You pay 1, 2, 3 euros per click. The click-through rate is not good. So blogging is a totally different approach than advertising. Okay, can be cheaper in the long term if you do it well. You need more time and, let's say, money at the beginning. It's your time anyway, but in the long term, it's much cheaper. It's more qualified than advertising, again, because you know how the social advertising works. They really check your profile. If you got married last year, they're going to offer you things about babies, for example. They are checking, they are spying on us. But blogging is different. Nobody check your profile. It's you who search on the internet. You check for what you are looking for. So, and it's more qualified. It's different qualification, let's say, okay? Because in Facebook you don't search for anything. It's just to get the advertising from your profile. And it helps you with the networking. I got good friends from networking. Like when you have a blog, one of the things you have to do is to get links. These are backlinks, not only for blogging, for the SEO. You have to get backlinks. And even it's important when you are well known in a blog, you need to get guest post. It's good if you get someone different and you writing in your website, because it's a different approach, a different point of view. It's always good, and then it helps for the networking. I did a lot of collaboration with other owners of schools in Madrid, for example, and it keeps your website up to date. Yeah, like as I said, producing content is good. If you do it properly, is much better, but only producing content is a good thing. It's better than not doing nothing. Okay, some people, I remember, maybe this is from the past, but still now with the voucher that the government is doing in Ireland, people want to create a website, but they don't know that getting the website is nothing. You have to do things to get customers. Only for having a website, it doesn't mean you're going to get customers. So Google wants you to be alive. Alive means create content. You're not going to change your landing page every day or your corporate site. You're not going to change the who we are all the time, every week, every month. So the best way to keep your web page alive is creating content and with the blog. And it helps you to express yourself. I said that the tone is more informal. You can be yourself rather than trying to be very a salesman. In a blog, you can tell about the good and the bad things. Okay, I mean the bad things. Don't get me wrong, but you can be clear with your products. You can have these sports shoes are good for tennis, but not good for running. Yeah, why not? Explain that properly. They're going to buy to you anyway. Why? So why don't you provide good information in the blog? And in the blog, it's like you're talking to someone. It's not like a landing page. You can be honest. Strategies to succeed. I like to do it yourself when you are small. Okay, as I said, you can hire someone, of course, but at the beginning, nobody knows about your business like you do. And then, yeah, because there are a lot of writers that they produce content, but to be honest, there are a lot of them that they are not good. They are going to check the internet and they are going to produce average content. Only good writers are going to produce good content, but they are expensive, can be very expensive. So I recommend you to start by yourself. Produce your first articles and you will discover how good writer you are, and you will see how Google what Google does about your website if they put you down, put you up. So yeah, write your first articles and then you can tell after a few months someone to do it, but then you know what you want, okay, and how your business is. You have to do a brainstorming. That means that you don't have to write things in a crazy way. You have to organize everything. You have to plan. Like I recommend you to write one article every week. One article every week is perfect. At the beginning, you have to be very strict. Even if you can produce more than one a week, it's great. Later, you can maybe delay that for every 2 weeks or every month. But you have to do a brainstorming and to plan. So you have a coffee shop. You're going to write about how to produce a good coffee, how to relax in a coffee place, how to work in a coffee. So you have to, sorry, it's a terrible example, but in my case, I wrote about the language schools, about the country, about accommodation. So you have to produce a brainstorming, and then you have to do a keywords research, because your brainstorming, you can only do that, the brainstorming about your business. But then Google, keywords research means that Google is going to tell you what people are looking for. Maybe you think that you have to write about tennis shoes and people are looking for running shoes, and it's your business as well, so you don't mind writing about one or the other. You know what I mean? Let's say, for example, I'm a language school, not only English school, language school. Then with the keyword research, I can ask, let's say, I can ask Google which language is more demanding and less competitive, because this is what we want, right? We want to write about things that people are looking. They search for English courses, but it's very competitive. Maybe Italian is better. And there are no much competitors. Okay, so I get a better profit in that way. You have to do a calendar. You have to plan what. Then you do the brainstorming and the keyword search. So this week I'm going to write about the language schools, and then next week I'm going to write about accommodation and the other. So you have to do a plan, and you have to be very strict. You have to do a plan and publish every week. Yes, and you should not try. You should not publish about the similar things every week. That's why you have to do a calendar and a plan. Try not to write. Maybe you have a lot of products. Don't write about tennis shoes or about shoes all the time. You can write about pullovers, pajamas. Okay, you know what I mean. What time is it? Okay, half an hour. You have to provide original and valuable content. Yeah, we are not talking about producing news. People don't want to know about how was your Christmas party or how many millions you got. Okay, this is not a news thing, it's a blog. So, and don't produce bullshit, don't produce 300 words. Then you're wasting the time. You have to produce real guides, real content and valuable, like long. Yeah, it has to be long because we like long content. So yeah, don't make the mistake to produce 300 words content. That's no, you're wasting your time. Okay, it has to be good, and if you read it, you have to be very demanding with yourself. If you read the article and you consider it's not good, change it. You have to do on-page optimization. This is a bit more technical. Yes, it is, and even maybe it's not good to do it at the beginning. Once you know how to do it, it's good, yeah. But maybe it's something that you can do after publishing the article. Let's say every month you review, you can check how success where you post, and then you can link, for example, between the articles. In my case, for example, I can write about Dublin. All the articles about Dublin has to have a link themselves. When I write about Cork, English courses in Cork, accommodation in Cork, then I optimize. This is what I would call optimization. Is, for example, linking the articles, even including bold letters, because the user, this is not Google, this is more UX, user interface. Okay, people they don't like the white. But at the opposite, they don't like to see a lot of text. So it has to be very clear, the text, even the design, okay? That's what we call format, okay? The H1, header 1, header 2, bullets. It has to be very clear. Don't create messy content. Organize your ideas in a proper order. Guest post, that's what I said about the networking, okay? That you need to get backlinks. You can pay for them if you get, for example, let's say a link from Irish Times, it's going to be great for your website. But it's going to be expensive as well, difficult and expensive. So you have to try to collaborate with other people from the same sector, same industry. In my case, for example, I contacted owners of another language schools in other cities in Spain. We weren't competitors because I was in Madrid, another guy in Barcelona, another guy in Valencia. So it was great for us. I wrote in the other language school website and they wrote on mine, and then it's not only that we got one link each other, it was that content was related to our industry. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe you have a friend that has a grocery store and they have a website. Yeah, you can write on this website, but it's not going to be very helpful because it's a totally different topic. Okay, so if you can try to get writing other websites from your same industry or the much similar possible, it's great. Seasonal articles. This is another thing that you can put in your calendar, writing about the typical events about your industry. I don't know, in my case, I write about Ireland, so I can write about Halloween, about St. Patrick's, about the summer in Ireland, about Christmas. Okay, it's interesting because these are not the evergreen posts. We call that the evergreen, are the opposite. It doesn't depend on the season, but seasonal articles are always nice and you get a lot of attraction. Continuity, yeah, like you have to be strict and publishing every week, and yeah, if you are lazy or you get tired because you don't see the results, you won't get the results. It sounds strange, but it's this way. Like you need like a 3, 4, 6 months to see the results and to attract Google. You have to publish every week, but you will learn in every week. You learn. Maybe I won't produce the content I produced a few years ago. Yes, because things change or because you change your writing. Okay. Yeah, and related with that, like you should review, measure, and change. This is the content update strategy. It means that maybe you produced an article a month ago and it didn't go well because whatever, I don't know, maybe I thought that tennis shoes were nice, or yeah, or whatever reason, and it's not, so I have to change the article. Maybe I got the 20th position and I need to improve a little bit that, and even maybe I created more articles related, and then, or maybe I have more information. But it's good that you review, the success of the article, the visitors, and you change accordingly. You don't have to change all the posts all the time, okay? Yeah, and what is WordPress? I love WordPress, okay? I saw a lot of customers using Wix or using Squarespace, I think. Yeah, Squarespace, please don't do it. You have WordPress is a content management system, the typical CMS, and 33% of the websites in the world on the internet are using this content management system. It's amazing. And I think that if 30% of all the websites in the internet are using it, maybe they are not wrong. I'm part of it. I have like 10, I think 8, 9 websites. I think that I have all of them in WordPress because of the plugins, because of the hostings. The hostings are adapted to optimize WordPress. They know how it works, so you can get a better. It's not a custom development. Is a well known from the guys in the hostings, in the servers. So it's PHP. Okay, WordPress is PHP. Maybe you know about what is the ISEA development language, and it's free. It's free. So you only pay for the hosting. So for me, WordPress is amazing. You have the plugins. Some plugins are free. Some others are not free. But for example, 40 euros, you can get functionality that it could cost 500 if you hire a developer. So you can extend your website using plugins. And for example, WooCommerce. WooCommerce is a plugin that let you to create an e-commerce in your website. You can have an online store just with a plugin that it costs, I think it's 50 euros. Yeah. So yes. And this is WordPress. I want to talk a lot about WordPress. How to write an article. This is the last one, okay? I said that before, you have to be long, you have to be deep, minimum 1,000 words. Yeah, you always ask the gurus, to the consultants, how many words? No, well, depends. Google likes long text, but don't put, it has to be good article. Can be 900 words or 1,100. But it has to be long. 300, 400 words doesn't work. I would say always around 1,000 words. Choose a keyword or a phrase, okay, for the topic. That means if you are talking about English schools in Ireland, don't talk about the English courses in Ireland. Maybe you can mention it, but don't talk about other things. If you are talking about accommodation in Dublin, focus on that topic most of the time. You don't get 1,000 words, or you think you cannot produce 1,000 words, keep it like whatever, 800, 700, but focus on that topic. Don't be confused. This is very, very important. Don't be confused, because when I hire writers, sometimes they are confused. No, like if we are sometimes the title is English School in Ireland, and the second header is the more important courses in Ireland. No, we are talking about the language school, so talk about the language school, okay? Original and valuable, that's what I'm saying. Don't be like the other guys, produce something different, check your competitors, and let's see if you can do it better, okay? Keyword in the URL, yes, so we are writing about English schools in Ireland. In the title, in the H1, in the header 1, in the URL as well, in the image, in the alt description. So yeah, I'm not saying like old-fashioned writing all the time in your post, English school, English school, English school. No, I'm not saying that, okay? But it's a tool. Google is very smart, and yes, they are improving a lot. The search and the algorithm is very semantic, actually, but still, they are not that smart. You have to tell Google what is your article about. So in the URL, don't put whatever is apprending.com/English schools Ireland. This is a perfect URL, okay? And use like the index, the H1, H2, H3. This is how you tell Google what you are talking about. Google check first this metadata, this content, the HTML. We can see that H1 is the header one, okay, like in Word, when you're writing Word. H1 is English school in Ireland, and H2, for example, can be one of the language school, or can be how to choose language school, and H3 can be another topic like the differences. Okay, and yeah, use synonyms. Don't say all the time English schools. Maybe you can say English colleges, English schools, English courses. So I mean, sorry, no, this is not synonym. Then you will get confused. But don't use all the same vocabulary all the time. Use synonym. Okay, we are talking about how to study in Ireland. You can say as well how to learn English in Ireland, how to come to Ireland to learn English. Okay, use different synonyms. Don't then you will get more visitors because you don't know if people are looking for English school or language school, for example. Okay. So yeah, you can write language schools in Ireland are okay, and sometimes English school in Ireland. Be original, be eye-catching, and yeah, like you have to try to be original and nice in the title as well. Like English schools in Ireland can be a very clear title, but when you search on Google, you see 10 results, right? So you have to try to motivate the user to click your result, and then you can try to be the best language school in Ireland, perfect, or you can try to put something more like why you are not choosing the proper English school in Ireland, no? This kind of titles that nowadays are very trending. Yoast, I recommend you to use Yoast, but this is very technical and I'm going to stop matching here. But yeah, don't forget about the meta descriptions. Be friendly in the style, as I said, you don't have to be formal, be very informal. Don't, in Spanish I would say, don't talk, like in English it's easier, it's you, but yeah, so use that tone all the time, you. You are talking to me, you are not talking to everyone, okay? It's me who is reading the post, so yeah. And give your opinion and your point of view. This is very important. Then you will get more credibility. Believe me, it works. Even if your product is not perfect, there is no perfect product. So try to be honest, but I mean, don't be mean, don't be, yeah, try to be honest. Include images. Yeah, like it has to be like you are designing as well. You are not only writing, you are trying to catch my attention. So put images. Depends on the post. If you are talking about the clip of my hair, of course, you have to put images, okay? And I'm in school, yeah, I put one image per school in my list. And of course, it helps because, you know, oh, I see the guys, I see the other students and the teachers and the owners, okay? Yeah, we need one feature image. Don't use terrible images. You have to use quality images. You can buy, it's not that expensive anymore. You can pay a website for getting unlimited images, 50 euros per year or 80 euros is better than, yeah. I mean, if you can produce your own, it's great, but it's always more difficult. Avoid the wall of text. As I said, short descriptions, don't be messy, don't talk a lot in a paragraph, short paragraphs, and every paragraph, it has to be one idea, no more than that. One paragraph, one idea, then you go ahead. Don't rephrase yourself, change the article if necessary, but it needs to be very clear and in very good order. Then I can read it continually and I would like it, okay? And the format, I say, yeah, like put bold, bullets, and I think I repeat it. So yeah, this is what I consider are the more important things to write a post. And I'm going to stop here. I have some more, but then I can tell you about the basic tools, Webmaster, Analytics, but I prefer you to tell me the questions because if not, we are running out of time.
I've been looking at the questions coming in, and they all seem to center around this last slide you have there on how to write a post, especially content. What sort of content would you feel is most impactful and would hold the interest of a reader?
Sorry, say it again.
What would the content be of a? Do you think the content of a post be that would best hold the interest of a reader and be most impactful?
Oh, but it's a very general question, no? Like you have to write, no? it's a very generic question, I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, do you think should you try to be controversial, or try and
There are different styles. You're right. I know what you mean. There are different styles, but you can try. Actually, I try. For example, in vivirinirlanda.com, in that blog, one of the most successful posts that I have is, sorry about that for the Irish guys if we have here, but I wrote, I was too controversial. You're right. I wrote, well, the 8 reasons you don't have to come to Ireland. Yeah. Oh my God, people complained a lot when I published and I shared the article on Facebook. They say, oh, this guy's stupid. He's not living in Ireland for sure. He doesn't know what Ireland is. But it got the attention of the users. Yeah. But, sorry?
I suppose if you do that one week, I mean, the following week, you could probably write something that gives the opposite view to try and sort of counterbalance it. Or if you can't do it within the same article.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, but the keyword research is very important. For example, if I do a research and I see that not a lot of people are writing about some topic that is related to my business, I wouldn't be controversial because I don't need it. I don't need to catch the attention. I'll be in the first position for sure, so I'll be very standard. That's my recommendation. But yeah, of course, if you are writing about something very competitive, you have to try to be quite different, controversial, original, or I don't know, whatever approach is. Well, not all the approaches are fine. If you are happy being controversial, but maybe don't use it much, because if you are controversial all the time, you know what I mean? So sometimes one controversial article help you to get a lot of traffic, but then you can relax your tone and be more educational, for example, or more. But yeah, there are different ways. Yeah.
Are there rules surrounding what you can include in a post? I mean, are these things policed by I don't know, internet police or something like that? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the rules are the content. I mean, no, there are no rules. Let's say, I mean, can Google delete your article? No, I don't. Well, if you write about sex or terrorism, I mean, there are some topics that are checked by Google, of course. So, but no, there are no rules. To be honest, like, I mean, no.
I mean, I ask these things from a total position of ignorance, because I mean, I don't really sort of write posts or read many myself, but I just wonder whether the other attendees would have anything to add on that. One thing I wouldn't mind, just if you could just go over again. There's a couple of points in how to write a post. When you talk about keywords, the URL, image link, description, and H1, H2s, H3s. What are they exactly? I haven't come across that before.
Yeah, like
I mean, the URL I know, but I mean, I don't.
URL is the link. The link itself. So when you use WordPress, you can produce your own URLs. Like in the past, we used to have, for example, irishstein.com/ how to getting a job in Ireland. .aspx like a very complex URL nowadays have very friendly URLs, and so the URL, for example, if I'm writing now, I'm an Irish Times journalist. I'm writing about English schools in Ireland. Let's say the perfect URL for a post about English schools in Ireland would be irishtimes.com/ English score English schools in Ireland, and that's all. Very short. Just include 4-5 words in your post URL, because I mean you are getting the URL from the main website, from your website, so irishtimes.com/ this is what you choose, the / whatever. So 4-5 words, it will be great in the URL, no more.
And a question just coming from Yolanda. She asks, how many call to actions would you recommend in a blog post, and where? Maybe in the middle of and where? Maybe perhaps in the middle of the blog.
In the middle, or yeah, like you cannot start if you're writing a blog and you put a call to action at the beginning, it can be a bit, not very helpful. But it has to be at the beginning, like in the first 300 words, I would say. Then you have to have a call to action there, because if not, you are risking that your audience can leave your website without seeing without seeing your call to action. So we always say that you have to try to put the call to action before the users scroll down. And if the content is very long, you can put more than one call to action, and you can try different messages. In one, you can say join our courses, and in another one you can say get more information, and then you can measure. You can try different call to action text.
Okay, thank you, David.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes. I just wanted to ask, because I think you said this before, it took a while before you got the traction, or you got an audience, and so I'm just guessing, because this is something that I do come across, especially with the blog posts, and unless you're really good with analytics, you can see how many people are reading it and stuff like that. But I mean, how do you know that a blog post is working, or to try something different, or to possibly, I don't know, not give up, so to speak?
Yeah, good. It's a good question. Yeah, it's a totally great question, because some people don't get motivated, or after a while they give up. You are totally right. To be honest, Google is quicker every time. Before it was slower, and it was very slow. Nowadays, depends on. It really doesn't. It really depends on the post and on the niche, okay, and the competitors. For example, you can get indexed. No, you know that you have to get indexed, right? And sometimes Google can index your post in 3 hours, and sometimes in 3 days. And depends on the competition. You can get to the first page in 1 week, and sometimes if it's more competitive, it takes more time for Google to realize that your article is good. Okay, but I would say the first checkup can be like 1 month. After 1 month, check the last post, and after 3 months as well. Okay, but at the same time, social networks are a good place to measure if people are interested in this topic or not. Every Monday I publish my articles on my social network, on my Facebook page, and even in the Facebook groups. It's a nice strategy, publishing in the Facebook groups and related to your topic, to your business. Okay, and you see how people react, and then that's give you an impression of if this is interesting for people or not. For example, checking that, you can see the title. Sometimes the same title can be attractive to some of them, and maybe for others are not. Maybe the quality of the content is good and it's original, but they didn't click in the article on Facebook, for example. Then I mean, I won't say someone could kill me if I say that. Facebook doesn't help you, or social network doesn't help you directly to SEO, but they help you to get traffic. And then it's an indirect thing, because then Google understand that if you are getting traffic, then this article is good. Okay, so, but yeah, it's not 1 week. If you are talking about that, let's say you need to wait and check different articles, because sometimes you are surprised. You can plan one article with a lot of details. Oh, this is great. I checked Google, the keywords, the volume, a lot of the competitors. I'm sure this article is going to do great, and it doesn't. So, and then you can get surprised with another article that you didn't put a lot of effort, and suddenly you get attraction. Okay, so it's not a lottery, but it's not always. You have to publish and learn. So the lesson learned are good as well. For example, yeah, I wrote about the best English and the best online apps to learn English. It was great, that article for me. It was amazing. Now I'm getting some commissions from apps, the affiliate programs. But I did the same in Italian and it didn't work. So then you have to change it. Okay, but then you have to check if it's worth it to change this article or not. I hope that responds to your question.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you. And by the way, yeah, this was absolutely awesome. Thank you.
No worries. You're welcome.
Can I just ask one thing as well, just
Sure.
about the backlinks? So now I know this might sound like a strange question, but would you include any backlinks in your post which are for people who are higher than you on the search ranking on Google, or you wouldn't do that?
Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, like you need backlinks and you need external links. So how do you call that? Internal and external, no? So if in the post you are helping your audience, your reader, for example, I'm writing about what to visit in Ireland. This is what you mean? I'll finish.
Yeah, I mean, like, say for example, if you want to compete with somebody who's on the first page of Google, would you include them in your blog post as a backlink, or would you divert the link to somewhere else so that they don't click on that link, so they stay above yours, so to speak?
Yeah. Depends where you are. If you are in the third position, I wouldn't put a link for the guy in the first position. Okay, but if you are in the fourth page or in the fifth page, if the article is helping the user, complementing the information, yes, I can put it. Like I will say, for example, I'm writing about what to visit in Ireland. No, I'm writing an article, the best things to visit in Ireland, and I'm talking about the National Museum. Then I have to put a link to the National Museum. Okay, it's not exactly what you are saying, but for example, in this case, it's helping the user. Okay, include that, open the link in a new window, but it's helping, it's complementing your information because you're not going to write everything. So yes, this is important. But if you are, in this case, you are in the third position, don't include your competitor in your links, of course not, because you are giving him a lot of link juice. Okay, but if you are in the 10th, but I know, like providing external links doesn't help to SEO, but it helps to the user interaction. Okay.
Yes, thank you. That's good. Thank you.
David, one last question just in from Agnes, and Agnes asks, is there any other tool other than Yoast which helps to check if your blog post is strong enough?
Yoast doesn't help to. Well, Yoast is not for that purpose. Yoast is we use Yoast to include the meta description and the meta title. For example, the title of my like you can see at the preview of how long is your title. If you exceed in the 160 words, you will see. Even you can see in a mobile and in a desktop. And even, for example, sometimes the description, Google takes the first, I think it's 255 words of your post. But you can tell Google that rather than the first words, you want to use that description. This is the purpose of Yoast. We use it for helping Google, let's say, to help Google to know which is the title and which is the description of the post. Okay, and as well for sometimes for the click-through rate. Click-through rate helps us. Okay, click-through rate. If you are in the fourth position for a result, you put a title that is eye-catching, and people pressing your post, you will get a better position. Okay, because they are not pressing in the first and the second and the third. You're pressing. They are clicking in the fourth in your post because it's more eye-catching. Then for Google, you are more important. Little by little, you will get. And for example, including emojis, you can include emojis, an arrow, a heart, or these kind of things. You can try actually, and you don't have to read in the title. You have to read in the meta title. Okay, for example, that things. But Yoast is only for a preview in the search, but not for checking how strong. Yeah, I don't trust. Like, yeah, maybe he's talking about as well about the keywords, and I'm not very strict with that. With Yoast talking about because you can include a keyword and then Yoast check how strong is your article. Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. But no, it's better if you write naturally, because if not, the keyword can be can be a word or can be a phrase. Actually, it's a phrase sometimes, no? But what about if the keyword is not English schools in Ireland? Yoast is not going to check properly. but what about if the best schools in Ireland? So yeah, it's a phrase, and maybe all the words are not in the same order.
Mm-hmm. Okay, lovely, David. Well, thanks for that clarification. Great. Well, I think that's probably it. So I think now's a pretty good time. It's been an hour. Just thank you, David, very much for all that. It's very very detailed, very
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll this will be the first of a few webinars which we're aiming to put on over the course of the next few months. So David, hopefully we'll have the opportunity to invite you back and maybe expand on this or any other topic that you fancy.
Yes.
And myself and the other council members, well, we'll put our heads together and see if there are other interesting topics which we can bring to the attention of everybody, and we'll publicise that in due course. If you want to get in contact with David on anything that he's talked about today, you have his the link on the screen now and presentation. And if not, you can always get hold of David via one of the council members, myself, Tony, through the ISEA website, which is isea.ie. So in this day of social media, there shouldn't be any difficulty getting hold of any one of us. So again, thanks a lot to all the attendees.
I want to tell the audience that they want to check the website and giving away 1 hour for free for the new customers. Then we can check together with Zoom the website. If someone is interested, like Julian, you were talking about, if you want me to check your website, I'll do it with you. Then we can arrange a meeting of 1 hour, and we can see if and then you decide if you want to hire my services or not. But I can help for free for 1 hour. That's what I'm promoting at the moment. So yeah, and you can see my LinkedIn here.
Thank you. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just setting up at the moment, so I haven't actually published anything just yet. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll definitely be in contact.
You're welcome.
Okay, then. Lovely. Well, in that case, as I said, thank you much to everybody. Enjoy the weekend. I think we're going to have some nice weather here in Ireland. I mean, over in Malaga, Valencia, you're guaranteed nice weather, but we got to make the most of it when we can. So thanks very much to everybody.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Right.